Welcome, super mentors. You are amazing to be in this role. And if you choose or have been chosen to be in this role, thank you so much for being a big part because you have been around the block a time or two with us, and we appreciate what you're doing to bring us together as communities. So, thank you so much for that. So now on taking the role of super mentor, this is what is going to be required. So we're going to go through this rather quickly, not too hard, not too difficult, but we will go through this training process of being a super mentor in the program. So first and foremost, you are in charge of developing regions. So as a super mentor, you're to oversee the region setup. That means you will have 4 mentors. We encourage you to start with 1. So you will do 1 mentor, do this program with them. As you go through the first month, if you're comfortable, then you can add your other mentors, but you'll have 4 in general that you will be doing this with. So we don't want you to get spread out too thin or anything like that. You can do 1 at a time. But eventually you will have 4 regions and 4 mentors that you will be over. You will be the go-to person for the mentors in the program if questions arise. You will also report success or problems or anything that's occurring to the executive team. You will have an executive leader that you report anything. So if you have questions, then you can go to the team and we will help you with those questions and problems as they come. So to be a super mentor in the program, you'll need to have usually been a mentor in the program or at least a leader. So you'll have had to have quite a bit of experience in the program to be able to become a super mentor. So we're talking 2 months at least, not the 1 month for a mentor, so that you can have that experience and know what's going on in the program so you can answer the questions. And you must be approved to be a super mentor. You'll need to complete all the trainings, watched every training video. You'll have to see all the trainings in all the departments to understand the full aspect of the program. So not just one, everything. So you'll have to watch all the videos and understand everything about the program and how everything works. So the biggest part of being a super mentor is experience. You've seen it all. You know how it all works. You've had experience with everything. You've been to a community meeting. You've been to all the business meetings. You understand it. You're the resource. You kind of know it. Most important thing about being a super mentor is having that experience on hand. There's not too much training for this role because we're not going to train you on everything. You should have already known it. We're not going to train you on every single one of these departments. That's for you to be able to watch all the videos, make sure you know it. Most of the training will come from that experience, knowing that. You will understand what a community meeting is. You'll understand what our business or our development meetings are. You'll understand the vision of the program, what our businesses do, what the community members do. You understand that as being a mentor in the program. So the roles that you will have, now that we've gone over all of that, the roles that you will have is to set up the mentor, make sure the mentor they may be assigned to you or you've set up a mentor in your program. You want to make sure that the mentor and you have selected 2 directors that are going to be doing the training of this program and going to be mostly setting that up. Make sure those 2 directors you have are good so that they're good leaders so that you guys don't have to do very much. You want to select good people to do that. After that, you guys are kind of going to be in a good place. You'll attend the first training meetings. There are going to be a training meeting for the community meetings and for the developments. You're going to want to be training. You're actually going to be in charge of this one, but you're going to want to attend both of those. And you will want to run the first trainings with the meetings. And after that, you'll help with the business setup with their bi-weekly. You're going to have 2 meetings for the business setup. We'll go through this more in detail. But basically then just encourage knowledge and growth. So we're going to break this down a little bit more. In the setup of the community, again, you want to make sure those 2 leaders are good directors. All of the people, you need to make sure everybody, when you're a cheerleader, make sure everybody's excited to grow the community. Get them excited about the opportunity that's in front of them. Share experiences of your referrals, your posts, anything you can help them to grow the community. You are the resource to show them what works and what hasn't worked. You will share all of this in your weekly meetings. There's going to be a 30-minute meeting that you're going to have for the first 1 to 2 months. Okay, so the first time you come in, when we're setting it up from scratch, you're going to have a mentor and those 2 directors. As soon as you get all in place, you're going to start with a weekly meeting. And it's great setup for the business department, others to get them prepared to start meeting together. But between you and your 2 directors, you're going to meet every single week for the first month. And then the 1 director will drop off and you'll finish up with the business community. We'll show you how that works in our weekly schedule. So we're going to do the first month and the second month. We're going to align what you're going to do in every single one of those meetings to make sure your community is set up effectively and efficiently as we go through. And I'll explain that with you in this amazing sheet in just a moment. The other thing that you're going to have to do is the mentor will be meeting with the community after this once a month. They have monthly checks that they have to do. They have to check off things and make sure that communities, they're going to report it to you. You are welcome to go to that monthly check meeting. It will be during the week of community news. The mentor is in charge of being there 15 minutes prior. You are able to go to that if you choose. You do not have to, but you can go. From what happens there, that mentor will report to you what's going on, so that you are aware of what's going on in every said community. In doing that, if all goes well, after your 2 months of setup, you're done with scheduled meetings for the community. You will check on the community through those reports every week that's going to come to you. During the first 2 months, though, you will have the weekly 30-minute meeting. So you will have that for 2 months when you first set up a community. Now, let's clarify all this. Let's say you have a business community that's set up, and that business community and the community meetings and the business side or the development side, both of those communities are fully set up. They'll start dividing, but as they start dividing, those communities are already self-trained inside of themselves. This is when you start with the first one, the first time you do this. After the divisions take place, those communities are trained within those communities to divide. So you don't help with all the subdivisions that's happened. You help with that one mentor, that one region. When you start the next, this is the 2 months. After that, all those different communities are still going to report to you, and you just find out. You don't have to attend. You're welcome to if you want to, but then you're become the reporting. You're just in charge of the first 2 months in setup with each one of these mentors. And then you'll submit an email to the executive team leader that's over you about the status of the communities. So you will let us know the status, or if there's anything we need to alter or change or do anything, that will be your process. So that's it. You are in charge of mostly setting up the community and let them know that you're a resource to go to. You will have your next community set up when you do the next mentor. So your first community set up here. You will also, like we said, be in charge of the business. We'll talk about that in our meetings. I'm going to go through this sheet and explain the week by week. But after you have extra time, after your first month, again, set up the one community with your first mentor that first month. Then add others if you want to do 2 at a time because you feel like you have time, you can do that. Or the rest of your 3, or just do it 1 at a time as you're going on. Once you've been a super mentor and all of your 4 areas, your 4 mentors are set up, you can do others, national, international, other focal communities. There's great opportunities because you're a leader who knows what they're doing and how to set this up and make it go. Your opportunities can explode even faster and grow faster, and your income can grow faster as you do this with people for people. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and go to the training sheet. This is probably the heart of what we are doing here. So I want to be able to show you this community setup sheet. This is really, really good. I really like it. It actually goes through everything that we need in setting up. So week by week. So your first week, you have your 2 leaders, right? You have your mentor. All 4 of you are meeting together for the first time. This is your first week, all 4 of you together. You're going to ensure that you have all of those leaders come, and that your goal is to start referring so we can get 4 leaders to the community meeting. Does anybody have a contact? Let's start contacting. We need to get 4 leaders set up for our community meeting. That's the goal the first week. Who's referred? Who have you guys referred? Who does everybody have? who are going to be our 4 leaders for our community meeting. Now, this should be super easy because these positions are free and will be free forever. And this is the only spot in the community that gets this, and they will not be free after we fill them the first time. So these 4 leaders, very special spot, can contact the 4 best people in your community that you guys want to run. And they make sure that they are contacted. Make sure all of your directors and your mentors and everybody here has completed all of their training. So that's your week 1. Make sure that everybody's done their training. Make sure that people are starting to contact their 4 leaders. And the business development person, whoever's that leader, they can start going to business training. So you're just going to make sure, hey, let's all catch together. Has everybody watched your training? Business development person, start going to your weekly training communities if they have yet to see it. And the rest of us, we're going to make sure, brainstorm together who we're going to have our 4. Let's start contacting, make sure that happens. Week 2, we want to have those 4 leaders in place. So between everybody, hopefully we've contacted 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, or however many that is. We want to make sure they're assigned by week 2. Now, the person in charge of assigning those roles, you're just orchestrating this and giving everybody actions. Your role is to make sure this happens and these meetings are happening. Your mentor and actually the community director is the one who everybody's going to report to, and they're going to let us know if those 4 roles were filled. It is the community director's position to have those 4 roles filled. You're just assigning the task each week, saying this is to be done. You're not to fill, you're not to do this. Make sure everybody knows their roles. So week 2, hopefully we have our 4 communities. Those 4 free people are assigned, and they are know so that they can start watching the training and know what's going on. And at this point, when we have those 4 leaders, our goal this week is you're going to say, okay, we have our 4 people, we have our directors, those are our 4 leaders. When are we going to have the meeting? So the goal is to have the community director talk to them all, make sure the meeting time is assigned, and that meeting time has been assigned for the community. And have the development leaders, again, start, if they've started having referrals for people who are going to be leaders there, that they start having their checklist and they know where to start filling their roles too. So make sure when people know who are the roles, what they're doing as the leaders, you can discuss this meeting for 30 minutes. These are the roles that need to be filled. These are the things. Let's start filling. Let's start organizing. They're going to be populating in our back office. They're also people we refer, making sure they know where to put everybody. Week 3, there should be about 12, after you've referred all those 4, about 12 to 20 people who've referred that you have this community based with that you're starting to work with. Make sure you've prepared the mentor and all the leaders to do all of their trainings first. Make sure everybody's had trainings done. But make sure everybody has been placed in their spot. So those 4 leaders have been placed, that mentor. And so week 3, we're going to do a pre-meeting. We're going to have a pre-meeting where we assign all the leaders of what they're going to present next week. So we're going to do a little pre-meeting this week of the 4 people we have. We're going to find the 4 people this week. We're going to assign them to their roles this week. And then this week, these 4 leaders, we're going to say, let's all get together, and they're going to join this meeting with us and give everybody their assignments. This is the mentor's job, is to run this meeting. They will run this meeting and say, does everybody know their job? We're going to do a practice. They have a sheet for that, to what to do in that pre-meeting and how that works, so they can run that pre-meeting for you. And make sure that that is done. And those 4 leaders are practicing so they what to do. Week 4, you will have that meeting in place with the leaders in the existing community. So it can be with all of the leaders that have been referred, all the people. You're going to have a pre-existing meeting with just those 4 leaders, fulfilling those roles, doing a sample meeting of how it's done. Everybody talks about it. And get everybody excited. Hey, this is what we're going to be doing. So everybody kind of gets it. Everybody knows what's going on. We'll have our real meeting next month. So this will be a sample meeting. Again, the mentor is in charge of all these things. Your job is to make sure everybody is doing this each week. That's it. You come to this meeting, let's set the scheduled time, make sure everybody checks off these roles. Okay? All of that is done and in place. Now we're off to month 2. Now, if all this didn't happen, you're going to add weeks. Oh, we didn't get our 4 leaders. Nobody was signed. Okay. We're going to have to repeat this week, so it might take us 5 weeks. However long it takes you, do not complete the next step until that previous step has been done. But in general, all of this should be able to be done within 4 weeks. Your meeting present, and so then month 2, your community meetings are up and going. They're set up, ready to go. Month 2, you will continue with being there at the weekly meetings. You will meet with a business development side and director. The community people only are going to come for one more meeting at the monthly meeting. They're kind of done with their trainings. They're going to continue their process and done. You're finishing up with the development side. So with the development side, with the community schedule, you're going to be meeting with the development director. Make a plan for their business leaders, all those business leaders who are coming on. The goal is we should have 20 to 60 people. All of these people have one opportunity to refer people to fill those 12 spots for $49.95 a month as they serve and lead, getting that $100 discount every single month. So at $49.95, they're able to fulfill those roles and do it. Otherwise, it'll be the $149.95. So of those 60, I bet a bunch of those businesses would prefer to do a little bit of service than pay $150 a month. So they would be able to serve and lead. And of those 60 people, we only need 12 spots. So 12 spots total in the community that are done and filled up. So hopefully we will get a lot of those people that are filling those spots as we're duplicating on a weekly schedule. Week 2, if you're not, you keep doing it. So you're going to actually, on week 2, make sure that all of this team, anybody who's come, make sure that they are good to go as far as their training, that they've been going to training for a week or 2. They're going to the business training. Make sure that they've observed the community meetings before they've come. So if they are being a part of this, they could have joined some of these community meetings, give them a flavor of that. If the community meetings this month, have them come and attend. And make sure they're good to go in 2 weeks, because the next 2 weeks, if we can have all of our 12 people assigned, these last 2 weeks, we're going to start getting them up and going. So week 3, we will do the same thing that we've done in the community meeting, where the week 3, we assign everybody the roles. They all come. These are your roles. Does anybody have questions? This is what you're going to be doing in the community. And the reason why we have you run this meeting first, most of our mentors, or most people, this is the more complicated portion of the program, because there's 4 different meetings. It's not just one. We want to make sure that you have been able to see it, grow it, expand it, all of those things, and be able to know what all of those things. And mentor other people that may have only been around the program a month or 2, may not understand everything because they haven't had the experience that we're talking about. So because of that, and you've had this experience, we will have you train this first leg. After that, they'll have been in meetings. People will come through training. This is only for setup of this one leg of this mentor. After this community advice, you won't have to do this, but every time you set up a brand new mentor, you will run this business training meeting where you will make sure everybody's assigned the roles. You will make sure that, and if they have questions, you are there. And then the second meeting, week 4, we're going to run a practice meeting and make sure everybody knows their roles, has a plan for the month, and they're good to go. Now, if all the spots aren't filled, or if something's not filled, you're going to repeat the week, repeat the month until you get this done, and then you will be complete. The goal is you get this done, like we said, within 2 months. Your first week, your community group set up. Second week, your development side set up, and you're kind of good to go. But other than that, you repeat. The great thing about this is that this portion is the biggest portion. Having this done in your first month is the key to all of your success. How long this takes doesn't really impact your community too much. Businesses can come on as they want and fill. Your community can grow, double, triple, and the sub-communities can still double and quadruple with this before even our businesses catch up or the development side catches up. This is the most important portion, and we'll keep these communities growing and expanding with our monthly meetings. And as these come, we will develop them. So you will stay with this, make sure that spot's developed, make sure they know what to do, and meet with them to make sure that happens. And then we will go from there after your first time. If you have any questions about any of this, make sure that you attend all of the videos and the trainings and go to your executive leader who's with you that will help you in this process also. But thank you for being a huge part and being the super mentor with people for people.